left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Ooh. Good morning, Bakers. What is going on, everyone? God bless you, baby. Happy July 11th to everyone. We're in the teeth of summer, man. It's middle of July. Baseball is hot in the streets. A lot of IKF arguments going on at the Jomboy media office as we speak. Huge weekend of baseball. We got some all-star teams. Talk about that a little bit. Check in around the league. Also some fun sports on the outsides. Little Wimbledon. Zach Wilson made a lot of headlines. Getting you into football season there. College realignment. That's chaos. I've been weirdly dialed into that. There's no rules, man. College football in a really, really weird place right now. Well, it's in a money place. Let's start off talking about the baseball. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I did. Went to Long Island for a little bit. How about it? It was all right. It was Long Island. Some nice, beachy areas. I guess people probably guessed that from the name. Let's start out with Yankees, Red Sox. I attended the Thursday night game up at Fenway. Pretty cool. Sat on the monster. Must say, if you get a chance, those are pretty cool seats. One of the most unique views in sports. I also, this isn't shots fired at Fenway, because at the end it's not. I thought the seats might be kind of, I don't know, not customer friendly. I figured they built some seats on top of Fenway. It's this crazy old historic building. There's probably not going to be bathrooms around. I didn't think there was going to be, vendors up there. Everything was right there. So it was really cool. We were laughing. There wasn't a single ball to the monster. There's, one ball in that direction all game. And then it's funny, the next night, we're watching the Yankees game, and there's so much action at the Green Monster. But that being said, we had a good time. Yankees felt like they won a blowout, although they ended up winning that first game 6-5, and the sixth run was on a dropped infield pop-up, which in hindsight, that's interesting to look at because the Yankees roll game 2, and it's kind of all right, maybe these Yankees are the truth, and they're about to end the Red Sox season, and these two teams are just in different leagues. I mean, not true, but kind of true, because the Yankees could have easily won the third game. It goes to extra innings. The Yankees put up 2 in extras. Red Sox end up putting up 3 on Wandy. A couple close moments, a couple baseball moments. There's a ball that goes to Donaldson. Could he have turned it? We'll never know. The Yankees end up losing that one, and then they end up losing on Sunday Night Baseball game. They were up again in. Boston comes back and almost doubles them up. 11-6 final. So, a weird weekend in Boston. The Yankees, the first couple games, they didn't have their best players playing. Judge was out. Rizzo was out. They sat Stanton a game. And then they kind of put everything together, and they end up losing. So, the Yankees' bullpen is kind of thin right now. I think that got shown over the weekend. Chapman is back, but he's not Aroldis Chapman right now. He's a liability, although he had one of the tougher luck innings you might see. The Yankees split 2 in Fenway. I think the fashion it happened is tough, especially when you're in the podcast biz. You'd like to record after the 2 wins because you got a little good juju. But in that final game, the bullpen depth, the starting pitching's been getting hit a little more lately. A lot of questions around the Yankees shortstop position, continuing in the office today. In Boston, I think they end up holding their heads high, in a biased Yankee fan's opinion, probably higher than they should. They're splitting two at home, but they were using some of their depth pitchers. They're supposed to be getting pitching back soon. I think Sale and Waka just get scratched.
Yeah, I think he just went on the IL, or at least got scratched. Yeah.
Evaldi's coming back, so I get it. If you're in Boston, I mean you're still in exactly where you were, in my opinion. The MLB wild card is currently all the AL East teams, and the Seattle Mariners have officially joined the party. They are 45-42. I mean, I guess that's where, if you're Boston, you can hold your head up high, at least until next weekend. They come to Yankee Stadium. I think the Yankees will be out to prove that they split on the road, and then they're saving it for home. We'll see. It's just the other teams in the wild card race are kind of a mess right now. Tampa Bay Rays got swept by the Cincinnati Reds. The Rays have been decimated by injuries. They've got kind of a whole pitching staff and half a lineup that is now hurt. They're 45-40. They're one game in the wild card right now, with Seattle and Toronto behind them. Two teams that before the year had big expectations. The Mariners got off to a slow start. They are starting to roll. And by the way, they are winners of 8 straight, and they have a series with the Nationals coming up. So the Mariners are here. The Angels have died in their division. The rest of that division is bleh. The Mariners have the talent. I think they were waiting for things to click. I think you can also, not that I believe this is why they're winning. I think they have a talented roster that's been waiting to go, but they were in that brawl. And I think since then, they're something like 11-2. Kind of made that up. Could have looked it up easily, didn't. Toronto. Did you know this, BBD? Toronto is 1-9 in their last 10. Toronto Blue Jays.
I didn't know it was that bad. I saw one tweet joking about Orioles about to pass them. And it looks like, yeah, they're creeping up.
The Orioles are 2 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays. The Orioles are winners of 8 straight. They're one of the stories in baseball right now, and good for them. We, again, I'm not going to gloat and take a victory, but we said early on that these are not the same Orioles, and they're starting to prove it, man. I want to bring up their Fangraphs page because I want to see how they're fully starting to measure up. Not too flashy. It's still just the bullpen. They hit some homers. They score some runs. Okay. Man, they have off day, 2 with the Cubs, off day, 3 with the Rays, and then the All-Star break. If they can go 3-2, the Orioles will be 500 by the All-Star break, which nobody had that. And by the way, kudos to them, kudos to the Yankees, kudos to the whole division. It'd be all over 500. I mean that's insane. This is a historic Yankees start to the season. The Rays have been a great franchise. The Blue Jays were supposed to be one of the powers of the AL this year. The Red Sox were kind of coin flippy. They're kind of on the other side of that coin now. What the Orioles is doing is crazy. Again, they have a top 6 in their lineup that's pretty nice. Mullins, Mancini, Santander, Mountcastle, Hayes, and Rushman. Adley's had a good week. The starting pitching's still thin, but their bullpen is actually lights out. Top 5 in ERA. Jorge Lopez is an all-star. Big Felix Bautista, Dylan Tate, Ciano Perez. They've all kind of put together a nice year back there. Good for the Baltimore Orioles. They're one of the stories in baseball, and they actually, they deserve it. This isn't hokey or, I don't know, just looking for a story. It's very real. Speaking of very real, in the National League, the Braves swept the Nats. They are a game and a half back of the New York Mets. That Mets giant lead, I think it was 10.5 at one point, has dwindled down. No real fault of their own. Scherzer was out. He's back. The Braves just fully turned it on. They have been one of the best teams in baseball, and now the Mets and Braves are playing tonight, right? Yeah.
They've got 3 in Atlanta.
3 in Atlanta. These teams are going to be locked up the rest of the way, especially I think DeGrom's supposed to make another rehab start. Mets, I mean, are they going to make moves at the deadline? Uncle Stevie, you know they're all in. NL East is going to be a fantastic race throughout, and hopefully it kicks off tonight. Probably watching that game. No Yanks tonight. Little Mets Braves. Sign me up. What else needs to be checked off in the NL? The Dodgers swept the Cubs.
Did you mention what the pitching matchup is for tonight's game?
Is it Scherzer? Who?
Fried.
Scherzer Fried? That's pretty good.
It's pretty must watch.
Scherzer Fried, Peterson Strider, and then Bassett Morton as Chris Bassett comes back. And then the Mets finish up with the Cubs, who just got swept by the Dodgers. Dodgers kind of needed that. They kind of didn't. I mean, the Dodgers just win. The Cubs, they were on a pesky little stretch there, and I think this kind of pops their balloon. Tony Gonsolin, 11-0 with a 1.62 ERA. Insanity. Absolute insanity. Padres and Giants, they split 4 after the Padres won the first 2. Giants come back and take the final 2. Some good starting pitching performances in this one. Logan Webb, Snell, Alex Wood, Rodon, the biggest all-star snub by most people, including his wife, who took the Twitter sphere and said that he leads the NL in WAR. Saw a lot of the replies. She knows ball. Because, yeah, Rodon should have been an all-star. And he still will. I mean, especially with the pitchers. Like Garrett Cole is currently an AL all-star, which, by the way, that's a little controversial. He pitches the day before all-star kicks off, so he will be bowing out of that. And there's going to be a bunch of pitchers that do that. I mentioned the Mets. They'd split 2 with the Marlins. I'd have to get the pulse from them. I know the Marlins used to be kind of a house of horrors for them. This wasn't in Miami, but Phillies took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. Phillies continue to roll and win some series. They're not gaining a ton of ground, but they are firmly in the wild card. Oh,
Trade.
Okay.
The Braves and Royals.
Okay.
You're not going to like this. The Braves are sending Drew Waters,
Right.
one of their top prospects, a pitching prospect, Andrew Hoffman, some third minor leaguer for the 35th pick in the draft.
Okay. I mean, trade and draft picks were officially there in baseball.
Yeah, did that get fully allowed in the CBA?
I guess so.
I know those like competitive balance picks, I think, are in that range, and those, like the Yankees got one of those for Sonny Gray. Became TJ Sycamore, I believe.
Mizzou.
So I don't know. I'm guessing that's one of those picks. I don't know if trading picks is fully on the table. I'm confused.
New CBA.
Traded real prospects. Drew Waters.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what's happened with him, because we've heard about him for a while, and now Michael Harris too is playing. So, how about that? Trade season has kind of kicked off, so that's exciting. Braves just shuffling youth. Good for them. Good franchise. The Phillies. I mentioned they took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. They are fully in the wild card right now. They're a game up on St. Louis, who they just played. We're starting to get into a spot in the NL where, like, the AL is kind of out there. I think there's going to be one quote-unquote good team that probably kind of misses the playoffs. Probably one of the AL East teams. Tampa, Toronto, Boston, Seattle, I guess, but I think they're going to be facing less competition the rest of the way. We'll see if the Guardians or White Sox get involved in any way, and maybe I deserve to give the Orioles more love. I will not as of now. The Phillies are a game in over St. Louis, 2 games over San Francisco, who their season was kind of spiraling until maybe they get some juice going out of the Padres series. Phillies are 46-40 without Bryce Harper. Good for them. Schwarber continues to be nuts. They win 2-0-1-0 the first 2 games. So, impressive stuff. Their bullpen has been good for a little while now. Great for a little while now. And that kind of changes that team's outlook. That's supposed to be their Achilles heel. Who got you?
Did you see who started the game they lost?
Was it Nick Nelson?
Yeah.
Yeah. He finds himself in an opener role again, which has to be blowing his mind. God, that guy. So many weird opportunities. Waino got a complete game loss. Some fun facts around that. Pirates take 2 out of 3 from the Brewers. The Brewers, again, they haven't been exuding confidence of late. If the Cardinals weren't struggling as much, I think there'd be a lot of ire, if that's a word, on the Brew Crew. Ire. They currently have a 2.5 game lead on St. Louis. And just for some kind of scope, the Brewers, who for a little while were kind of viewed as a power, their Trevor Plouffe's World Series team, dominant pitching, well-run franchise, they basically have the same record as the Red Sox. So their season has not been what we thought the Brewers season was going to be. Rockies, D-backs, I'll save you guys the time. Rockies took 3 out of 4. The Orioles, they swept the Angels. Angels in just an absolute death march to their season. It's getting ugly. While the Orioles season takes off 4 games. Angels are the most dead a team's ever been. Sweet.
Do you know where the Angels go this week, or who they're playing this week?
I do not.
They got Houston again next.
I mean, I don't know, man. Shohei and Trout tweets out the planes to Anaheim. It's like, what is you doing, baby?
Oh my God, and they have the Dodgers this weekend.
I mean,
it's just brutal.
Pass and just tweet out more of the draft pick trade stuff. Yeah, the Angels are so dead. They've had the worst record in the majors since May 16th. Pretty unreal stuff, how quickly the bottom dropped out for them. Blue Jays, Mariners, mentioned both these teams. The Mariners, they 4 games swept them in Seattle. Little walk-off. Carlos Santana with a couple big home runs this series. Might be hearing about that on Talking Baseball. Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Athletics. Tigers and White Sox split 4, and that's obvious because the White Sox should be a part of this season, but they refuse to. They constantly refuse to. Rangers took 2 out of 3 from the Twins. Will anyone challenge the Twins this year? White Sox, let's go. They do have a crazy easy schedule coming out of the All-Star break, so I'm still in on the White Sox. Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Guardians. Guardians uninspiring as of late as well. I think that's it. So, little baseball around the horn. We've got Talking Baseball coming up after this, where we'll deep dive a little more. All-Star Game rosters are out. Who are the big snubs? It was Rodon,
Dylan Cease, I think were the two
Dylan Cease.
most getting got. In Yankee world, Mike King. I don't know if nationally it lines up, but I see that the most. So, Passon tweeted a list of like everybody who had a good argument. I'll pull up who he had and see if anyone full sticks out.
And is Wheeler currently not an all-star?
I think so. Ty France was a big one. Josh Bell was a big one. I think they both get a little screwed by the Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols honorary spots.
Freddie Freeman.
Josh Bell, look at his numbers this year.
I don't think Freddie's one either, right?
I saw that because I was looking at the NL first baseman to see how, was it just the Pujols thing that screwed Josh Bell, and Freeman's definitely in a tier where he should be. And I'm guessing he didn't win the vote to start, and maybe just the selection committee knows he just wants the days off.
Yeah,
everyone just shook on that.
Yeah, it's
Young Thick misses out.
You know, there's always guys on the fringe, and there'll be a couple injuries, a couple pitchers will tap out. Seeing in the AL position wise, there's not, people aren't super mad. I guess Jeremy Pena thought he had a chance, but AL shortstop is tough.
Yeah, his offensive numbers aren't insane.
I guess the best stories to come out of this, and if any of you watched Talking Yanks last night, which some of you probably did, big series. Jamalama Ding Dong, not the biggest All-Star Game fan, because of the truths about it. It's not the best measure. There's guys that have won MVPs but haven't been All-Stars. There's it happens mid-season. The voting and different things are about halfway through the season that you could have an atrocious second half, or you could have an ungodly good second half, and it doesn't get shown by the All-Star Game. Jose Trevino on the Yankees, he's been to our office. He's an incredible dude. He was supposed to be a role player for the Yankees. He is now an all-star. The video of him finding out was pretty incredible. Nestor Cortez Jr., 35th round draft pick, DFA'd by teams, another Yankee. But he was kind of a story around baseball for a little bit. For those that were in it, he gets the nod. And then this one's a deep cut. Joe Mantiply for the Snakes, another former Yankee farmhand. They have to take an all-star from each team. He's been really, really good this year. I think, if there was another Snake, it would have been interesting. But he's 35 games, a 1.83 ERA, doing some historic stuff for them. And, this guy's 31, kind of a vagabond.
It's a good story.
That, these guys are all-stars, and they'll get to rub shoulders with everyone. They'll have it for life. That was a popular phrase this weekend. Weekend?
Yeah. Never take that away from you.
They'll always have it.
And there's guys we already, like Harper's not playing. That's a spot. Jazz, I think, is going to still be out. I remember when he got hurt, they said it was borderline he'd be back. I would assume he's not going to play in the All-Star game.
Yeah, no,
that's another spot.
Jordan just got hurt too, right?
Yeah.
Jordan. Yeah, we'll see who they announce as the starting pitchers. I think it's a fun conversation. Obviously, there's a lot of good ones. They were saying that you go the old guys, Verlander, Kershaw. It's a good way to make a memory. The young guys probably deserve it. McClanahan and Alcantara, who's having a historic season. But Kershaw at Dodger Stadium, Gonsolin out has an argument too.
Yeah, probably one of them.
And the biggest thing that you probably need to remember is that this game doesn't matter. So, if Clayton Kershaw gets the start, just sit there and say cool. Because it's in Dodger Stadium and he's an all-time great pitcher. And nothing matters anyways. We'll be out at the All-Star Game, by the way. if any of you are going to LA or you live in LA or in the area, we are doing a VIP event. Again, we did one last year. Denver was last year, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wild
Stuff.
at the Boomtown Brewery on Tuesday. We're doing a VIP event before the game, 2:30 to 4:30. We did it last year. It's just kind of 2 hours. The first hour is kind of open. Go say hi to Jerry Blevins, shake Peter Moylan's hand, say what's up. And then we kind of did a panel where there was some Q&A. We talked a couple hot button topics in baseball. And it's just a good time. And then during the game, if you don't want to come to that, because we are selling tickets to that, I think we're doing 100 VIP tickets. Sold more than half of them. And we're going to have a link in the bio of this, but, it comes with drink ticket, shirt, giveaway prizes, stuff like that. And if you can't come to that, if you can't come to the VIP, that's fine. During the All-Star game, we're just going to be bopping around and watching at the Boomtown Brewery. So if you or you know someone that's interested, come through. I know a lot of the good people that are diehards. I know Josh Osborne hit me up saying he was coming through. Feo, you coming through?
Ticket, get a couple drinks, a T-shirt, hang out, get some pics.
Jenna Mariel.
There'll be some games.
And yeah, we have our whole crew there. It's kind of the end of the weekend for us. After that, we pack it up and fly out. So it's going to be a good time. And Tom Ace in the chat, no home run derby. We will be at the home run derby. Love the home run derby. It's an incredible event. So we'll probably have some matching shirts again, some outfield seats. Hopefully, if you guys are there, say what up. Or if you see us on TV, do the Leo gif. That's them. I know them. So that's the baseball. All-Star Week coming up. One week to the All-Star game, basically.
Yeah. A week from yesterday is the last game
right
before the break.
1 week to the home run derby. That's pretty cool. Man, that's
wow.
I mean, yeah, man, I said it, but I haven't really appreciated it. Like, there's going to be a week of baseball, and again, there's another Yankees Red Sox series going to be caught up in that. Mets Braves. We're going to hit the All-Star game, and then like the trade deadline and what's actually going down and who's selling and who's available. That stuff gets so real. It's such a fun time of the year. Excited to deep dive into that with you guys. So get ready for that. Other news around the sports world. Zach Wilson might be in the Cougars. Went to BYU. It was the kind of clickbait story from the end of this weekend. Basically, it's a whole mess. I think I figured it out this morning. We forget how young these people are. Zach Wilson's 22. I think his ex-girlfriend is around the same age. His ex-girlfriend is now dating his best friend, his college roommate, a guy that's playing Canadian League football. People were calling her out for doing that. She then replied that Zach Wilson hooked up with one of his mom's friends, which, that's enough information to set the internet on fire for a little bit, and it did. Zach Wilson, I don't know. People were making obviously dumb jokes about his street cred and stuff like that, having fun with it. I saw a rumor, and this is where the internet goes wild. Someone said Zach Wilson took 2 girls to prom, which I'm going to Google that now. I think that's, all the websites that have it are not your good websites. I don't know. We'll see if things are as jetsy as they getsy. Pretty wild to hop into that one. And get to the silly stuff. DK Metcalf was all excited.
Just scrolling through some good memes.
Yeah, that's basically where I want to land with this is, the internet was being the internet. Which, once the internet starts rolling on something like that, and especially, I mean, he's got old tweets that are like love Cougars and stuff like that. So the internet ran hard on that. Wimbledon happened. Joker. Who's he going? More memes getting you?
Yeah, there's a good Urban Meyer one.
Oh, yeah. Wimbledon happened. Djokovic won. Kyrgios, the Aussie. I thought it was Greek. I guess it's a Greek Aussie name. He kind of had a blow up at one point. That was viral. Joker, kind of a hot button for some people now. He gets another one. Good for you, dude. Kind of over it. Didn't get to watch a lot of Wimbledon. Normally do. Not this year. Sorry, Wimbledon.
Nadal had to drop out, right?
Think so.
I think he got hurt. Because that was the one match we half watched because Dre had it on.
Yes. Against Kyrgios. Yeah. So Wimbledon happened. We're sneaking up on the British Open this week. I'm excited for that. That'll be fun. Get some good hours out of that. And then the other big news coming out of the sporting world is the college realignment, college football realignment. We're still in the teeth of the story. It's wild how everything goes down, and it's back alley, and the former commissioner of the Pac-12 is getting killed, is basically going to be remembered as the guy that potentially killed the Pac-10, Pac-12. The money in football is so ridiculous that it's just getting to an unreal point of what it's dictating. And yeah, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be another hat to drop, and is Notre Dame going to make an alliance somewhere? It's crazy what Notre Dame still does for that sport. They can kind of call their old shots. And I'll say this, Kyros. Sorry, Fail. I hate it. Every college sports fan hates it. As someone that originally, I was a huge Big East basketball fan. Big East basketball got ruined because of football and realignment. Big East basketball was as good as it gets. And that got broken up because of basketball. Eventually, because of the money, it all gets sorted out this way, that the big names go with the big names and they follow the money, and it obviously makes sense from a business standpoint. But the way that some of these divisions are now set up is unreal. And again, it's still just sorting itself out. Some of the ACC stuff is wild. Again, if you're into sports business and stuff like that, the ACC signed a 20-year TV contract because they wanted to make sure the conference wouldn't be broken up. But now they're losing a ton of money because they signed a 20-year TV contract, and all the TV contracts have gone up a ton. So they're in a weird spot. It sucks there's a pureness of college sports that gets talked about, and it used to be the allure of when, and it's just that times have changed, and we need to get better grips of that as fans, that, it used to be fun when there'd be a run and gun USC football team that would play a Wisconsin Badgers team that would hammer the ball into the ground, and you'd be like, well, I literally no idea how this is going to play out. These teams are such different styles. Those Big 12 shootout teams for years, Texas Tech would start putting up 60 points, and then they'd play a Michigan State team that was built on defense and play action and things like that. It's kind of gone away from that. Look at how Alabama plays now. They're run and gun. Pretty much every football program is run and gun. That, I don't know. College sports has been in a weird realm for me. Obviously, still love the NCAA tournament, one of the best things in sports. It gets weird when I start looking at these kids and they're 12 years younger than me. Obviously, college basketball as a product has kind of been hurt by the advantages of going to the NBA or any other leagues. Football needs to figure out its landing ground. If we end up with a super college football league, maybe that's the answer. Maybe it is 20 teams that battle it out every year, and that's kind of how it goes down. Because at this point, at the end of the year, it comes down to like 5 or 6 teams. How many teams have made the college football playoff? And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but we got to figure it out more. I feel bad for the programs that are going to get hurt by this, and programs will be hurt by this, and it sucks, man. It really sucks. As a UConn basketball fan, it felt like I lost my program for like 5 years. And there's going to be football teams that have that going on. And there's just when all the money gets involved, and we've talked about this with baseball. Every decision baseball has made for the past 20 years has been directly correlated to getting another dollar. And they've ignored some fan experience and game play stuff while doing that. And don't get me wrong, I understand you have to make a lot of decisions for the dollar, but you mix in a couple good ones for the fans, you land in a really good place. And that's where college football is built on rivalries and traditions. And we're just losing that. I think we're set up, if USC and, they were going through some of the games that would be regular season games for USC, and it's like Purdue, Minnesota, Indiana. It's just stuff that doesn't get you jazzed up. So it's just a start. I see Tom Ace in the chat. I do think, I think football conferences are just going to become their own thing. I think basketball conferences are going to become their own thing. Because that's where I guess it gets fun again, is if a team like Kansas that has an awful football program, if that ends up going to the wayside, do these elite college basketball programs start doing their own thing? And then we get like a Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga division. Who knows? Hopefully that's what all this is working towards. And let's be honest, I think everyone's just hoping their program doesn't get run over at some point. Because, man, it is survival of the fittest. You better hope your AD is sharp and in tune with everything that's going on. Because if not, there's a chance your school will just get left behind. And if you're a fringe, Big 12, ACC, Pac-12 team, you're nervous right now. So we will see what happens there. If you're really into the sports business side of things, it's definitely something you should look into, because there's a lot of layers to it between the colleges and the contracts and TV contracts and all that. So that's pretty much what happened around the sports world. I think we'll start tying it on. Baker's last episode. Last episode we talked about Kevin Durant wanting out of Brooklyn. Remember that? No smoke there anymore, huh?
Yeah, reports this morning, Nets don't think the value is as high as they had hoped.
Right.
It's an impossible trade to make.
Especially, we talked about it after Gobert. Bryce Newton. Jake, I miss JJR. I think we all do. We all miss the spirit of that. Dre, Anthony Edwards is a superstar. Yeah, there was reports that the Nets asked for him and Karl Anthony Towns for KD, I think. Don't think that's happening. Joseph Pierce, a lot of talk about fireworks. Fireworks hit a sweet spot between ages 8 and 14 for watching, 18 and 24 for lighting. Maybe a hot take. Maybe I'm a pyro. Hard to say. No, you're absolutely right. We had a massive fireworks phase of our lives, probably from 16 to 22, something like that. We used to have Roman candle wars. Some of the most dangerous stuff I've done has been with fireworks. And yeah, in the time, you're like, it's not that bad. And then And then towards the end of your time, you're like, I think this might be bad. And then as I'm removed from it, I'm like, God, dumb. Really dumb. Really dumb. I mean, I've been hit all over with Roman candles. Skin. So don't do it. If you're listening and you're still doing dumb stuff with fireworks, be careful. Let's see. Ryan was mad that I said playing the White Sox was a little sad because the White Sox went 3-4 against the Yankees. The White Sox whole season has been a little sad. Matt Carpenter has as many... What do you think about that, PBD? Matt Carpenter has as many home runs as the leading Chicago White Sox home run hitter. Matt Carpenter's played 26 games. He started 20 of them. You can't see it, but just out of shot, it looks like Jomboy's a zombie. I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture and post it. I wonder if he's
You guys will see. You'll meet her.
I wonder if he's had too many IKF debates. Trying to get the right angle. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I got it. I'll post that on the internet. Thank you guys for leaving a comment and review. Baking the algorithm. You guys are the best. I know dog days of summer. Everyone gets busy, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. And, yeah, we'll see. I think All-Star Week we might have some people pop in for a little bit. Have some fun with that. Kooky Jake. Bro of the Night. Bro of the Night, a very prestigious award that's supposed to be your water cooler award. Something to talk sports about, someone who stood out. I'll do a layup. I will give it to Brandon Hyde, the Orioles manager, because this did not have to be a layup. He was kind of interesting when he first joined the Orioles. You kind of saw he had a little bit of an edge to him, and you're like, good, man. Like, maybe the Orioles need that. Like, good for you. If you're really that dude, you're tough. You're defending your guys. I love it. Then another, like, tough losing year, and it was like, okay. You know, they were 52-110 last year. He managed in 2019. They were 54-108. And this year, it didn't look like they were going to be out of the woods. I was rude to the Orioles. I said they might not win 50 games. They have 43 wins. And they're a game under 500, which is really incredible. And Brandon Hyde is the leader of that ship, man. And good for him. And I hope you always hope the guy like that ends up being the dude if we're 2 years from now talking about the Orioles being a really good team. The fact he has them where they are is genuinely unbelievable. Especially considering the division and everything else. Unbelievable. So shout out to Brandon Hyde. Apes?
And the Yanks kind of messing that whole thing up for everybody. Would this have been like the best division top to bottom ever? Like funness? Kinda. I'm glad they're doing it. My bro of the night, it's not necessarily inherently broy, but sort of just a topic we should hit on. James Harden's going back to the Sixers. He took kind of like a pay cut, little 2-year deal, player option stuff. Run it back.
Yeah, man, I'm interested to see what their final roster ends up looking like. They, I mentioned it a couple times, and I heard people keep mentioning it casually that, like, what James Harden did with his contract stuff is, like, really beneficial. Took, like, a $15 million pay cut.
Yeah.
And again, think, like, James Harden and who he's been depicted out to be, some of it very much rightfully so, is not that guy. So, like, if the Sixers are in it this year, and they added, we talked about P.J. Tucker, Daniel House, funny Houston guys, Daryl Morey. We'll see what the East looks like in the NBA this year, but Harden and Embiid, when you talk about two pure studs, depends where you're at with Tatum and Brown. Obviously, they could give him a run. Giannis and Middleton.
Drew Holiday.
I mean, that's the thing. If you start going to 3 and, like, what is Tyrese Maxey or Tobias Harris? the 76ers starting five may be the best starting five in the East. We'll see. What does James Harden look like? Sure, you took the cut, but people always ask questions about him work ethic-wise and teammate-wise. Could be blown up by midseason. I don't know, but, man, the way we view James Harden is not the $15 million pay cut to make the team better. So maybe we'll see a different James Harden. I don't know.
$15 million cut per year short-term deal.
Does he, if they do something in Minnesota, in Philadelphia, does he get some money on the back end and then it becomes bad? Maybe. But I think there's a lot of guys that would not have done this. So, kudos to James Harden. Kudos to Big Game James. BBD, a lot, and I mean a lot, on Jomboy Media this week. The week before the All-Star game, we are playing catch-up. We're doing more stuff. We're doing everything. There's playing watchings, GeoGuessr, baggage. Watch baggage, people.
Watch some baggage.
Watch some baggage. Yankees land. We got Talking Yanks, Pinstripe Strong, emotional after a big Boston series. Talking baseball coming up after this. Rose rotation with
David Bednar today.
David Bednar, that's right. Pirates closer. David Bednar. Nasty stuff, by the way. Interested to hear that one. Breakdowns, little popular. Weekly Dumb. Coming. Thanks.
Catch up everything at the warehouse.
All the warehouse stuff. Hey, thank you guys. We love you. We'll see you back Wednesday. Bake it. Bake it.